It's the last day in Spain for me, last full day at least. I'm leaving tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon. And I came to Spain last Monday, so I have been here for 6 days. It's Saturday now. Not a very long trip for me, but I came here because I wanted to have some practice time in warm weather. In Finland it's -6 actually right now. I arrived in Fuengirola, where I'm at right now, 6 days ago, and today is the last day I'll be here. And why I chose Fuengirola is because they have a disc golf course. Spain overall has 5 or 4 disc golf courses, and 2 of them are right up there on the mountains. And that's why I came here. I have been coming here since like 2017 or 2018. I haven't been here since 2019 when I was here with Kevin. Everything pretty much got locked down and coming to Spain has been very difficult. So now, since I had a chance to come here, I wanted to take it. I'm gonna go get some breakfast from downstairs. So in Spain, you actually have to wear a mask wherever you go, indoors. And I don't think outdoors you have to wear a mask, but at least whenever you're indoors, even if it's your own apartment building or if it's a restaurant or grocery store, you have to wear a mask, always. So the breakfast place is literally downstairs from my apartment. I'm staying in, it's not an Airbnb, it's not a hotel, but it's something closer to Airbnb than hotel. It was 40 euros a night. All right. I mean, it's great. It's really nice. It's 40 euros a night. And my breakfast was also only 5 euros for what I had. So it's my last day today here, and I'm going to play the blue course. They have 2 courses. The blue one is brand new. I've only played it once during this trip. I usually like to play the red one. It's just a little bit more easy going. The blue one is just hardcore, but a great pro course for sure. Get my gear together and get going. I hope you enjoy this video. All right, everybody. We are here by the mountains. I have my friend Pano here, and you run the place. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
How many years have you been doing this?
3 years more or less. But yeah, past 2 years definitely. Kinda flying solo.
Nice.
If you could say that.
I have been here for a few years, and I have only played the red course every time I've been here, but now you have the blue course.
Yeah.
How was that project? What got you the idea?
Yeah, the idea was to make like more challenging course and actually challenge the guys with the 1000+ rating, and I think we kinda nailed it. It's definitely way more technical, as you know now, and it's more narrow fairways, lots OBs, harder basket positions, more wooded for sure also, and that's what I noticed when the other course being pretty much in the desert. The other course is about 50% wooded course, and it just seems strange. But I think it's because a lot of those blue layout holes are in the lower in the hills. Do you think that's because? Yeah, actually, that kind of affects it for sure.
I think so, because the moisture gets a little bit more down there.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, there are some top of the hills holes, like the signature hole, hole 12.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, we are known by the elevation changes, and so yeah.
Do you have any plans for the future? Are you trying to develop this better, or are you settled for now?
Well, actually, definitely we want to develop even these courses what we have, and there has to be some sort of more beginner friendly amateur course at some point as well.
Yeah, true.
But at the moment, it's all about the maintenance and getting them to a tip-top shape back after this pandemic situation in the world, obviously.
So it was bad for you
it
also.
It definitely was bad for here, and yeah, tourism was pretty much dead. So
yeah, true.
It definitely did affect us, and also there wasn't that many guys walking, so all those paths and everything, we just had to redo everything more or less. So yeah, so the maintenance job is definitely the biggest hurdle at the moment. So, but yeah, we definitely want to evolve the place every day, and we want to get this better, and the plans are semi-big.
Nice.
I'll tell you one day
okay.
the rest of the plans.
Let's keep it secret for now.
Exactly, for now.
Alright, is there anything else you want to tell these people?
There's a lot what I would like to tell you guys, but anyways, basically we are here, so, and definitely welcoming you here to check the place yourselves.
Yeah, I recommend it to everybody, and I want to thank Panu for hosting me every time and hosting all the people coming here. Thanks again, and I'll see you later.
Thank you, mate.
We're playing the blue layout, and I am actually here by myself, so I'll be filming by myself also. I'm not gonna show every single hole, but I'm gonna show you guys my 6 favorite holes and some other shots from here and there, starting off from hole number 3. This is straight up crazy par 4. It's 232 meters, dogleg to the right, and this place is pretty windy always. At least always when I am here, it's pretty windy. And it makes this hole specifically feel even longer than it is actually, but it should be a birdie hole for me. Not an easy one, but a birdie hole. I think it was pretty good. I threw the F5, so I wasn't going for anything crazy, just because I realized that on this hole you want to much rather be in the right spot for the second shot than have crazy distance. But I think I got far enough where I should have a chance for a birdie. I could see myself throwing a little flick around the tree and maybe giving it a little bit of a run. Oops. Well, no harm done. One of the most controversial holes, hole number 7, par 4, 88 meters. So that's just below 300 feet for a par 4. It's interesting, but it's actually very legit par 4. I wouldn't say it's the hardest, but it's definitely not the easiest. You could easily get double or even triple bogey on this hole, but I wouldn't still say that it's dumb. It's actually pretty good. The first time I played this hole, I actually putted from the tee pad through the Mando to there, and this is kind of the first gap you could go through inside this bush where I actually ended up myself. But usually people go around, but I think, or when I tried the first time throwing this hole with the little flex, they always went over the hay wall or the bamboo wall, and that's out of bounds. So it's just so short that I just threw a little hyzer skip shot from this gap. And that's gonna be a flick roller for sure. I'm about 20 meters from the basket, but you have to go from that gap hard to the left. I did this successfully last time I played here, but let's see. That's even better. That's underneath. By the way, this disc is sick, and you're gonna want it when it comes out. And this would have to be the prettiest green on the course. Just so different from the rest of the holes. And there are my 2 discs. This is the second one, if you want to check out the shape. Okay, I'll try to make it without setting the camera down. Just straight flicks. I have 3 discs. Flicks through the gap. Okay. Low. Hey. What was that? It's not so low. Go. Oh, just a bit too high. Maybe the F1 will go. Without a doubt, the signature hole of the course, hole 12, 95 meters. Basket is right there in kind of like the tip of a mountain. Pretty harsh wind from right to left. Actually, it's gotta be a sidearm. I almost aced, but so far I can't even see the basket, but it's just over the top. I'll just pop this there. Okay, should be fine. We are on the final 2 holes of the track. Hole 17, absolutely beautiful hole. This is one of my favorites for sure. It's 114 meters long, par 3. The basket is seemingly in a pretty easy spot, and this hole overall seems pretty easy. If you're a pro player, you can just hyzer to the basket, but there's a hillside only a couple meters to the right of the basket that continues towards the tee pad or a little bit to the right. So you're throwing the hyzer, but you always want to land short of the basket. I have thrown this hole once and I was in 2 meters, but I'm trying to do the same now. It's a little bit more breezy today. No, short. One hole to go, and that is hole 18. Obviously 201 meters. This is a hole where I could, in theory, I should be getting it there at least 1 out of 20 tries, especially if we had a good wind. I've played this course once and I got to almost pin high, but like 30 meters to the left of the basket. What makes it difficult getting all the way to the basket is the mando that there is at the very end. My best drive has been right before that tree, and the basket is there. I'm right now in the sweet spot, and I'll show you how this one flies. I'll just flick it casually from here. It's just, well, why I like this disc is because it's so easy to throw. Alright, just little anhyzer, sidearm straight at it. It's literally that easy. Last putt of the round, which took like 5 hours. Nah, it took like 3 hours, I would say. This is money. So excited for this disc to be out. So that was it. That was the blue course. I like it. It's pretty hardcore, but challenging, good for players like me. And the red course, if you want to check out that video, by the way, it's in Finnish from last week on my channel right here. And after the round, the best part is getting drinks at the clubhouse, and I usually send a message to Panu a few holes before I'm done if he could make me some toasts, and he always does. He also delivers drinks to the course to people who want drinks and are thirsty. If you're interested in building a course or renovating your course or getting baskets or tee pads, check out the information in the description of this video. There you can find the contact that you need if you're interested. Also, keep your eyes out for this. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to Prodigy's channel. More English content coming in the near future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.